My name is Sophia, and I fell in love with a man I was never supposed to love. But the night he finally told me he loved me, I had already decided to disappear from his life. Why did I leave? Why did I break the heart of the man I loved? And why, after 3 years, did I go back to find him? Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Samiha Storyland. My name is Sophia. 3 years ago, I was just an ordinary girl with an ordinary life. I worked at a small bookstore in the city. Every morning, I opened the shop at 9. Every evening, I watched the same people walk past the window. But one rainy afternoon, someone walked into my life who would change everything. His name was Daniel. He came into the bookstore looking for a book. I asked, "Can I help you find something?" He smiled. "I don't know what I am looking for." I laughed. "Then why did you come to a bookstore?" He looked at me and said, "Maybe I came here to find you." I rolled my eyes. "You are terrible at flirting." He smiled. "But you smiled." I tried not to laugh. That was the beginning. Daniel started coming to the bookstore every day. At first, he bought books. Then he started buying coffee for me. And eventually, he stopped pretending he came for the books. He came for me. We became friends, then best friends. And somewhere between those endless conversations and quiet walks home, I fell in love with him. But I never told him because I was afraid. Afraid that if I confessed my feelings, I might lose my best friend. One night we were sitting on the rooftop of my apartment. The city lights were glowing below us. Daniel suddenly said, "Sophia." "Yes." "Do you think two people can love each other without saying it?" I looked at him. "Why are you asking?" He smiled. "Just answer me." I looked away. "Yes." "Why?" "Because sometimes," I whispered, "people are too afraid to say what they feel." Daniel became quiet. Then he said, "Maybe they are waiting for the other person to say it first." My heart started beating faster. I looked at him. He was already looking at me. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then he reached for my hand and whispered, "I love you, Sophia." I couldn't breathe. The words I had secretly dreamed of hearing were finally real. I smiled through my tears. "I love you too." He pulled me into his arms. And for the first time in my life, I felt completely safe. I thought I had finally found my forever. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, Daniel received a phone call. His father had been in an accident. He had to leave the city immediately. He told me I will be back in a few days. I hugged him. "Promise?" He kissed my forehead. "I promise." But he didn't come back. Not in a few days, not in a few weeks, not even in a few months. His phone stopped working. His apartment was empty, and no one knew where he was. I was terrified. I kept asking myself the same question: where did Daniel go? 6 months passed, then 1 year. Eventually, everyone told me to move on, but I couldn't. Because somewhere inside me, I believed he was still alive. I kept his last message, just 3 words: "Wait for me." And I did, until one day I discovered something that changed everything. I was cleaning an old box when I found an envelope. My name was written on it, Sophia. My hand started shaking. I opened it. Inside was a letter from Daniel. And the first line said, "If you are reading this, I'm probably already gone from your life." My heart stopped. He explained everything. His father had been involved in a serious legal problem. Daniel had been forced to leave the country. He had tried to contact me, but someone had stopped him. And then came the sentence that destroyed me. I stayed away because I was afraid that being with me would put you in danger. I couldn't stop crying. All those years I thought he had abandoned me, but he had been trying to protect me. 3 years passed. I tried to move on. I built a new life. I smiled. I worked. I met people, but I never fell in love again. Then one evening, someone walked into my bookstore. I was arranging books when I heard a familiar voice. "Excuse me." I froze. That voice. I slowly turned around. Daniel was standing there, right in front of me. For several seconds, I couldn't speak. He looked at me and whispered, "Hi, Sophia." Tears immediately filled my eyes. "You are alive?" He nodded. "I told you I would come back." I shook my head. "You said you would be gone for a few days." "I know." "You disappeared for 3 years." "I know." "Do you have any idea what you did to me?" His eyes filled with tears. "I thought about you every single day." "Then why didn't you come back?" He stepped closer. "Because I didn't know if you would still love me." I laughed through my tears. "You idiot." He smiled. "You waited?" I looked at him. I tried not to. And I failed. Daniel reached into his pocket. He pulled out something small. It was the same necklace he had given me 3 years ago. "I kept mine too," he said. I looked at him. "Why?" "Because I promised I would come back." I whispered. "You are 3 years late." He smiled sadly. "I know." Then he asked, "Is it too late?" I didn't answer, because I didn't know. I still loved him. But love wasn't enough anymore. I needed to know if I could trust him. So I asked, "If you disappear again, will you come back?" He took my hand. "No." I looked at him in confusion. "I won't disappear again." That night we walked through the same streets where our love had begun. Nothing looked the same, but somehow being beside him felt familiar. He told me everything. I told him everything. And for the first time there were no secrets between us. Maybe that's what real love is. Today I am still with Daniel. And sometimes when it rains, we go back to that little bookstore where we first met. And sometimes he asks, "Do you regret waiting for me?" I always smile, "No." Because if I hadn't waited, I might have missed the greatest love of my life. Sometimes the person you are trying to protect is simply waiting for you to let them choose you. Now I want to ask you something. If you were Sophia and the person you loved disappeared for 3 years, but finally came back with a heartbreaking reason, would you forgive him and give your love another chance? Or would 3 years of silence be enough to make you walk away forever? Tell me honestly in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Samiha Storyland.